Welcome to another amazing episode of the Art Remedy podcast, powered by the amazing, the creative, the common space on the internet, Detox Art. I am your host, Brittany Simone, but Brit for short, and coming to the stage, or the Zoom screen rather, is an amazing artist himself, Adeta. Welcome. First of all, I want everyone to know we have never met in person. I met him on TikTok. Great energy through the screen, right? Tell us about yourself. How you feeling?
Shoot, I'm pretty good. Just got to be on break from work. So, I try to use my time to draw as much as I can. It's hard to do that. Like, when you get off of work, like, man, I just want to go to sleep. But
So tell everyone, what do you do during the day that makes it kind of like complicated for you to get to your artistry?
Okay, so basically, trucker, I didn't know this before I got this job, but truckers, man, you gotta give it to them. They gotta drive 11 hours a day. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. But
Yeah.
I have a goal that I want to meet. So my goal is, I want to meet it. I gotta do a little bit. So
Okay. And how often do you find time to create now? Like, do you have a schedule, or do you just jump in when you can?
yeah, I just jump in when I can. I try to do a little bit in the morning before I hit the road. So I'll try to do a few push-ups and wake myself up, and then I'll do a few pages of animation.
Okay.
And then when I'm done driving, I try to do a little bit more. I don't want to kill yourself, but just want to get a little bit in, that way you don't break your momentum,
Absolutely. So because you're on the road, do you like do it in the truck, or do you like sit outside, like connect with nature a little bit, or find like a rest stop? Like, what's your vibe? How do you do it?
I wish. No, I stay in the truck because it's cold. It's cold outside. It's cold.
True. But you always travel. Do you ever go West Coast? Where it's more?
I go everywhere. So you're right. Some places are warm. Some places are like 60 degrees, and then I'll in the same day I'll be in another place that's like 20 degrees. And it'll so
No, it's good for your immune system. You don't need to be outside, get these colds and stuff. What drew me to your work is because of, one, your honesty and how you just like advocate for the people, and doing animation by hand, right? Which is a talent, because I remember growing up and like seeing the behind the scenes of like Disney and how like they made Mickey Mouse move and like how they would flip through the pages. I was just like, wow, this is insane but beautiful work.
Shoot, you know what's crazy? Animation was like, that was the first thing I wanted to do. Like, I didn't start off drawing. I was watching, this is for a lot of people, I was watching Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I was like, man, I want to do that. I said that at 5, and my dad was like, oh, really? So he used to make me, man. he used to make me copy pictures and stuff like that, and he used to make me like force me to draw, and which I didn't like that at the time.
Okay.
You want to go outside and play, and with your friends and stuff like that, but it made me more disciplined. And I'm like, that's actually good that he instilled that in me.
Okay, father. I like that. And how often did he make you draw?
Oh, he did every day.
Every day.
I wanted to go outside and play. He would force me to, like, okay, you need to draw this before you go. So
I love that, having like parents who pour into their children's interests, and I'm glad like your dad didn't like push you away from art and make it feel like it was a side project, but enhance your creativity by allowing you to sit down, and now you have the discipline. I love that. I love that. Anyone listening, give your kids what they need, pour into them.
I didn't have my dad in my life for all of my childhood, so but that thing is what stuck with me after I was just living with my mom. Like, that's one of the things that actually stuck with me. It's just you gotta instill that in your child, that way they can have principles that would stick with them when you're not around them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, but I love that. Growing up, because you grew up in Brooklyn, right?
No, I grew up in so many different places, but
Oh,
Brooklyn was the longest place that I lived in.
were you inspired by the things outside that gravitated with your creativity, or were there things that just, allowed you to be creative?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I would say that, but nothing in particular. But you know, is a good place for like creativity and expanding because you get to see so many different things.
Absolutely. Where else did you live? Did you when you moved, like did you find inspiration there, or was everything kind of like within you?
I lived in Georgia, lived in South Carolina. We moved all over the place because my dad was in the military, but we moved to New York. We stayed there for a good amount of time. But essentially, I get my inspiration from, you know, everyday life. Black people. I love my people. I love black people. So I try to incorporate stuff like that into my art. Um, I love I love seeing black people in animation. I love
Mm,
seeing black characters, especially in movies. Like I feel probably not the only one, but when I see a black character in a show or TV, like I'm always rooting for that person. So I try to do the same thing for my art too.
I love that. I love that you're putting us in spaces that you predominantly didn't see yourself growing up, and it's like you took this childhood love and you're just like making it expand, and I love that. My brother is heavy into anime. He goes to like the comic cons and everything and does the whole like wardrobe making, so I'm just like, okay, do your thing. I don't really understand anime, but I love the artistry of this, of like the style. Like people always say like, oh, you're into anime, and I'm like, no, not, I don't know like nobody outside of like Sailor Moon characters and some of Pokemon. I'm like, I don't know these people, but they cute. I love their outfits. Were you always into storytelling, or was it just the animation?
So that's a good question. I was mostly into animation, and I do like drawing too. Um, but I was mostly into just drawing and animation. But you know, growing up, you know, you start looking at the world a certain way, and then especially when you get out of high school and you finish college, and you know, for a few years you're in this like limbo period where you're not learning anything. And I started to get a sense that I was becoming dumb just going to work every day. I don't want to be blunt like that, but that's kind of how it felt. You know, you just going to, you know, you're just,
In this routine.
yeah, you're in this routine where you're going to work every day, you're coming home, and you're just repeating that every day. And I'm like, man, I'm really like something's missing, you know. So I had this like I had this moment where I just started reading. It was more to it than that. Where I had this moment where something inspired me to start reading more books. So I started reading, and I started learning a lot about Black history. I started learning about history in general of the planet. Started learning about stuff that people will call spiritual or and philosophy, and started learning about a whole bunch of different things. And that's what really inspired me to really go hard on the story and start telling stuff that I feel that people need to be aware of. So that's what made me consistent with writing a good story. You know what I mean?
I love that you're taking education and making it digestible by putting it into something that more people will gravitate towards.
Because you know what's the thing is, when I started doing that, I started realizing how all these other I would say pretty much every show or every cartoon, even cartoons, even video games,
Mhm.
I write these stories for video games, movies, even anime. These people do a lot of these people are very intelligent and very educated. They've done so much research, and I'm like, I thought I read a lot of books. No, these people are very intelligent. The stuff that they incorporate into these shows, and I think that's why we like them so much. I would say if you have a favorite movie, the reason is he is probably some very real information that he put into there, or the whatever the director or writer incorporated into that movie, or you know what I mean.
Absolutely, because nothing is by accident. It's like it's always purposeful and masterful. So, would you consider yourself an artist and a storyteller, or just an artist?
Uh, I would say I'm an artist. I would say I'm an artist first. Um, you know, there's levels to things. So
Mhm.
I would say I'm not the best storyteller that I could be, but there's always room for improvement. And I got a lot of stuff that I got to work on. But I would say I'm an artist first for sure. Yeah.
Artist. And what is your go-to medium?
Go to medium. You talking about for drawing? That's as far as
For
drawing.
anything.
Um, I'm traditional. I do like pen and paper.
Okay. And why is that?
Ah man, it's more natural, and number one, you can't pressing it undo button. You know what I mean?
Have you ever, I have to ask this question. Have you ever been drawing on an iPad for so long and then you got back to paper and then you kind of like reached over to hit a undo?
Right, yeah.
You're just like, this is paper.
Like, yo, it's not working. What's going on?
I laughed so hard because I was like, female, like, girl, you over here thinking this is an iPad the whole time.
That's how you know you need to take a break from that. That's how you know you need to take a break from the digital. You gotta be like, yeah.
That part, oh my God, it was so, I'm so happy I was by myself. I was like, this is so embarrassing.
But you know what's cool about drawing to traditional? I feel like drawing to traditionally, like with pen and paper, makes you it gives you a lot more improvement than drawing on the iPad does, because you got to be a lot more precise with a pen and paper, and also it just feels a lot better. Like it feels more, something about it just feels more natural and free.
Exactly. So speaking about that, like, I'm big on paper, the hand of paper, which is like the feeling. Like, I hate sheet paper. I feel like that's why I made my coloring books a certain way, because growing up, it was always that Dollar Tree paper that made my skin crawl. I was like, this, like, just hearing it turn, but me like kind of like twitch. I don't know if it's just me, but my spirit did not like it. And I hated when my mom would give me those coloring books. I'm like, I don't want these things, this thin paper. I love the way paper feels like
the toothy paper,
like
where it has like
cardstock, like watercolor paper, vellum, anything like thick that has like a little bit of just like friction or give. I love paper like that because I don't know, I'm a very detailed person, so like when I see how the ink is like soaking up in the paper,
I like that too.
Satisfying. It's satisfying. But I love that you say that. Have you ever worked with paints or charcoal or anything like that?
Yeah, charcoal is one of my favorite. Even though it's messy, I just love the feel of charcoal. I like how you can blend the charcoal to make shadows and stuff like that. I used to use charcoal a lot. Charcoal is one of my favorite mediums. I like painting sometimes. My girlfriend likes painting, so I usually only paint when she wants to do that. But I'm not really so much a fan of painting. I can do it.
Okay.
Not really a fan.
Okay. I love that you are, so you're an illustrator with a knack for animation, but you love other outlets and other mediums, and I love that because you're at this, state of play. Is there any outlet that you are becoming more interested in as you see it, maybe on the internet, or maybe these ads are coming to you, or you just like want to try or challenge yourself?
I think I did tell you this. So I have a book, and I was trying to do the Amazon process of making a book, but it was a lot with that. So I ended up just making printing out the book and what do you call it? Book binding it myself. That was a pretty fun process. I like doing that.
You bound the book yourself?
It's fun.
I know it looks fun, but I'm just like, okay, that's not what you told me in the comments. Like I took it as if like you went to like Kinko's and printed it out or something. I didn't know you were. That's amazing. Oh, you should share that process.
I will do it. I will.
People need to know.
It's actually not even that difficult or complicated. You just the most complicated part is basically getting the prints correct so that when you bind it, they match up together. But aside from that, it's a easy process, and it's therapeutic. Like it's hard to find words to describe it besides therapeutic. It's really fun to do. So I enjoy it.
So that's something that you basically pushed yourself to do because the whole Amazon process was a little challenging. So you self-taught yourself how to bind books. Black people need to see us doing the things, because there's not enough of us doing the things. We are so creative, and it's like, why not? Like you said, you didn't see yourself in the anime, so you did it. But if they see, especially Black men, doing like different things, we need more of that. Like, y'all loving plants and gardening and now there's like these platforms for Black men in yoga. Like I love seeing all the different things that y'all doing. It is so beautiful. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay.
I wouldn't even say black men. I'll say black men and women. No, there's so
Black
much.
men and women. Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying specifically now because I feel like as a Black woman, we got it locked down to a science. But I just feel like it's time for Black men to step up and realize that the creativity that is oozing in you because you come from a Black woman. So it's just like own it up, put it out there, and get with other people, like do what the other people are doing, because it's like you own just as right to reap the rewards as anybody else. So that's just my little praise for you. That's why.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, of course, of course. Didn't mean to go on a tangent, but just feel like I had to share that. Have you ever experienced a moment where someone, maybe an art teacher or a friend or a family member, has like critiqued your work and made you feel a way?
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that is inevitable. I rarely get it from my family. My family generally likes my work. I did get a few times where like, one of my family members would be like, that looks a little off. Maybe you got to change it. But I'm the type of person where if I get criticism, I take it the opposite. I take it the opposite way. I take that as an opportunity to improve myself because I'm like, nah, I can definitely do better. And if I always know in the first place I can do better. So if somebody's telling me that they feel like I could do better, I'm like, shit, yeah, you're right. But art teachers would art teachers, yeah, they would try to say slick stuff just because for some reason, art teachers do not like the sight of anime for some reason. They just don't like it. I don't know why. So when they see you drawing that in class, they're like, get that uh shit out of here. Like I don't want to see that in here. I don't know what the animosity for anime is, but I've gotten it more than one time. So
Oh, really?
I don't even respond. I'm like, that was such a out of place comment. Like, what? I don't get it, but okay.
I'm not gonna say names, but I definitely remember times two teachers, not Miss Jones, because Miss Jones, she's my rock. And she's Black. She was my first Black art teacher. And I was like, what? Anyway, the other people there, I feel like it's something about, because it's not a tangible object, that they feel like it's not art. I feel like, I don't know, because I feel like every time when we had like a free-for-all project, I got the same thing too. Like just drawing little like fashion figures or something, just like, this is not art. I feel like it was in a lane of just like, it's not a still life. It's not a figure drawing. It's not, you know, of a person or a portrait. So that's not art.
The thing is, it's like that's not the only thing I draw. That just happens to be what you saw me drawing at the moment. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I draw more than just anime. I have to, because I gotta know how to draw backgrounds. I gotta know how to draw animals. Know how to draw cars and people and objects. So it's not the only thing I draw. Excuse me.
Yeah. So you can't be put into a box.
Right.
But that's interesting. And I feel like, I wonder how high school is now, but I wonder if they are encouraging, the younger generations to explore whatever it is that's resting on their heart, rather than just teaching it from a book, so to speak. Because they can just, if they allow them to have like fluid art moments, they can just, probably show them techniques or shading techniques, like, how you're learning about animal anatomy and the body and foreground, background, like how to apply it to what they're just, gravitating towards in the moment. But that's not for us to break down, but that's for the school system to figure out their part. How do you get into your flow? That's what I want to ask.
Okay, that's a good question, because that was one of the things I was purposely practicing. Like I have a few different things that I practice that I don't do it so much now, because I've already gained some of what I needed to gain from those practices. So a few years ago, when I was on my journey of, okay, I need to get better at these things specifically, so I had a list of things that I would practice every day. So I would do like 5 pages of this, 5 pages of figure drawings, 5 pages of backgrounds, 5 pages of just all these different topics of things that I would do every day, so that it would reach me, it would make me get closer and closer to where I needed to. So one of the things that I was specifically working on was getting in my flow state quicker. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, you know what I mean by flow state, right? So
Yes,
it's
yes. Like no thoughts, allowing yourself to fully submerge and be in the moment.
right. So I had two specific exercises for that. I would do a few pages of something I call automatic drawings,
Okay.
where automatic drawings is you just draw any type of shape, or it doesn't matter. You just keep your pen on the paper and just move it.
I see what you're saying. You're keeping your pen down the whole time and just moving and move. Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Automatic means you just drawing whatever
Whatever.
whatever is making, you just keep drawing it. It don't have to be anything specific. Sometimes I was just doing random shapes and random. It wasn't anything specific.
Okay.
That's not helping you get better at drawing. It's just helping you get better in the flow state. It's helping you put your mind in a state where you're not really worried. It's really just building confidence in your pen and in your hand. This is when I was on my spiritual journey. So I was just doing crazy stuff. I was doing another exercise I call freestyle drawing, where in this case it's similar to automatic drawing, but you're drawing something specific, but you're not really worried about, okay, I messed up. Like if you mess up, you keep going. Because I don't know if you're a fan of freestyle rap, but I used to be big into freestyle into freestyle rap back in the day. And the number one rule of freestyling is if you mess up, you keep going. So I would use a pen instead of a pencil, meaning you can't erase. So I would use the pen, and if I mess up, you would incorporate that mess up into the drawing, where it's like it's not a mess up anymore because you incorporated it into the drawing. So like if you're freestyling and you mess up a word, then you got to keep going by rhyming with that word. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I would do stuff like that, and all that stuff. It really helps you not only build your confidence, but it helps you get into the flow state a lot faster. And yeah, that's what I got.
I love it. I definitely want to try the first one. You said automatic drawing. Yeah, I got it.
I'll send you some examples. I'll send you some examples.
Okay, yeah, that's dope. I want to try that. Not always, but I normally, if I'm sketching, I'm always sketching with like a pen. So it's like if I force myself to love the mistakes, that's just like my personal sketch outlet. Have you ever found yourself like when you get angry or frustrated, do you turn to art or do you turn away?
Oh man. Now it's hard for me to draw when I'm upset. It's kind of
Okay.
hard to draw when I'm upset.
Okay.
It's
And
kind of
why is that? Why do you think? There's a block.
Yeah, because I like to draw when because like I just explained, like I like drawing when I'm in the flow state. I like getting into the flow state when I'm drawing.
Mhm.
So when I'm upset, it's kind of hard for me to do that because I'm the type of person where when I think about something, I'm gonna keep thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Okay, no, I get it. So have you ever like used like painting or like a creative outlet to release the stress or whatever you may be feeling at that moment? Because there's techniques. I only ask because there's techniques that could like get it out through the body as well.
Okay. No, I generally don't.
No? Maybe you should try it with your girlfriend, with the art, with the painting.
What techniques you got?
Well, if you're drawing like on paper, I like to use the stippling aspect, like with a marker and just literally just tapping the paper. I seen this one girl, it's her warm-up activity, but I was just like, oh, that would be really good for like aggression, where you literally just like start scribbling on the paper, just shapes, you turn the paper around, do shapes. One lady, she actually was just ripping up paper. She was just like, I'm gonna just rip it up. And then she glued it like a little craft exercise. She like glued it together and made like some type of collage with it. I like drawing spirals with paint.
Okay.
Because a spiral is just like continuous energy and it's like in a circle formation, with chakras and everything. So I was like, let me just focus on being still. I also like to tie in color theory. So I was painting with blue. So it's like, using stuff like that to really incorporate that as like a way to find calm through an art format. And through painting, like this little painting here, you can't really see it, but a lot of aggression, because I was just building up the paint and then I would carve into it. And the motion of like, the body, but me not using my voice, to be like, I'm angry because, but like, just having that like aggressive or the very heavy handed moving of the material helped me during very dark times of my life. So I encourage other people. That's why I do the events in person, because I want other people to feel like you don't always have to say it. You could put it out in different ways.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people need that, because I think one of the things that I would say Black people, but the people in general, man, like we gotta learn how to handle our emotions a lot better. Like that would solve, like I would say that would solve, maybe I'm exaggerating, but I would say 95% of our problems if we understood how to handle our emotions better,
Yes.
or express them better.
Yes. Like just emotional regulation and just knowing. Thank you for saying that, because I feel like I know what I want to share with the world, but sometimes I don't have the words. And I feel like that was definitely confirmation that it's for people to find alternative ways. I always want to say that, like, inspire them. That's what this podcast is for, is to bring people back to art, because some people just don't see it as creativity. They see art as like something that only special people have, and like certain people just aren't talented. It's like that's not even the case. And I feel like the whole like there just became this very hard line between like artists and society. I'm like, we're all, in my opinion, we are all creatives. And I don't even say in my opinion, me being in tune with a higher power, I just know that we all have a gift. We just lost it as we grew up into adulthood. Like, even when you remember how you said, like, you said you left high school and felt like you were in this limbo period. It's like we weren't nourishing something that, you know, was innate in us, or we just fell off, you know, that creative flow. So
Right.
If you don't find your way back, then you get further and further and further pulled away from it. That's my viewpoint of
Oh,
it.
you're right.
Oh, I did want to ask you about the AI question, because I felt like that was very interesting. How do you view it, even though you are doing your animation by hand? Do you believe that AI is artistry, or what is your perspective?
Okay, so this is my thing. This is my thing, right? I was gonna make a video, TikTok about this. That I see people flipping out. People are just like up in arms about this whole AI thing. It's like, my thing is this, right? So all of us learned how to draw by looking at something else. There's no other way to learn how to draw. You got to look at something else. Then some of us learn how to draw by copying something else. We didn't make money off of it because we were kids, but we learned how to. That's how we learned how to draw. We copied it and figured out, how did he do this, and then we did the same thing. The AI is doing the exact same thing. It's just copying our art. So I don't understand what the reason to be mad about. Now, I understand people getting mad that, okay, AI is possibly taking people's jobs, but I mean, it's too late now. But if people are getting mad that AI is just copying their art, because you know about that, right? Like Instagram and Meta, they use the AI, and any type of art that we upload on their system, they can use that to train the AI. What the AI is not doing, the AI is doing exactly what we do. It's copying our art to learn how to create better art. I can't be mad at it. So the best thing to do is be smart about it and learn how to utilize it better than other people.
I see.
It's just a tool, just like a car, just like anything else. It's a tool that we got to figure out how to use for our benefit.
To use for our benefit. I love that. And because it's not just AI for images, it's like there's ChatGPT, there's one that actually does like funnels and marketing. So it's like there's AI in the field of many. And yes, you're right. We have to just find ways to incorporate it, because the system is not smarter than us. We have to learn to like even question it. We're just using it to make things just go a little bit faster. I like the way you put that, because that is a very heavy topic for someone who like draws every day, and not draws every day, who has a career path in the arts. So thank you. I appreciate that.
It's also like, what are you making art for? Like, I can see, the only reason I can see you being upset about it is if you were making art to make money, which there's nothing wrong with that, but not everybody makes art to make money. So I don't see why AI advancing and getting better at art it's not gonna stop me from making art. It's just not.
That part. Yes. Don't let it kill your dream. Don't let it kill your gift. So probably be wise for people to consider the way they share their art on those platforms, because if it is feeding, the engine, find ways to manipulate it so like your whole image is not on there, or maybe you find a different platform to put your art so people will not, so it's not directly attached to it. How do you feel that art has made your life more joyful, more exciting to wake up to every day?
Oh, that's an easy one. Truthfully speaking, I don't want to go too much into it, but when I in my worst times, I was like, man, I have a goal. And that goal involves my art, and I want to reach it. So it's not gonna end here. I got something that I want to do, so I'm just gonna have to find a way, because there's some things that I need to accomplish for my inner child, what I told myself I wanted to do with my life. So that's really what kept me going.
I love that. And how do you define creativity and artistry?
That's a tough one. Let me try to figure out how to put it into words. I would say, honestly, expressing yourself and expressing your truth. When people say your truth, I kind of get confused with that sometimes. But when I think about it in the sense of art is really, it's really a very simple form of expressing what you have in your mind, without words. You can incorporate words into your art, but there's many different types of art. You got martial arts, you got culinary arts, and in every single one of those forms of art, you're expressing yourself. Like even when people cook food, that's an art form, and and you can tell people love making food because it comes out a certain way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I would say art and creativity is accurately and honestly expressing yourself and your truth.
Okay. Thank you. I love that. Thank you for reinstating how I feel about creativity. It's like there are so many forms, and it's not just limited to visual art, food, dance, gardening, landscaping. Like there's just, those are the gifts, that we were given, and we just have to nurture them.
Right.
My last and final question is, after everyone listens to this amazing, heartfelt conversation, what's the one thing that you would want them to take from this conversation?
Ooh, okay, that's a good one too. So, well, I'll say this. If you feel like you're not an artist, I would say somewhere inside of you, there's an artist. There is something in your life that you can turn into art and you can be creative with, because there's many facets of life. There's so many things you can do. So I feel like art in general gives you purpose. I feel like that because I enjoy doing it, even if I'm not making money off of it. Like it's something that I can really wake up in the morning and feel like I can look at it and be like, I did that. And I'm sure, like I said, for any other art form, people feel the exact same way. People feel that like that with food. People feel like that with dance and martial arts and music. You look back on it and be like, I did that. Like it's something about something that you created, you can feel pride in. So I would say, if you haven't found that, I would say try to think deeply about what you can do with your life to find the art in it, because being proud of something, it really is a fulfilling feeling. I think every person needs that.
I love that. That was like a cherry on top that we all needed to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your energy, pulling up to the Art Remedy and sharing your wisdom. Let everybody know where they can find you, connect with you.
Yeah. So I make it really easy. My name is Anitoku, ANITOKU, on every single platform. And my website name is anitoku.com. I'm like the only one named that. That was the whole reason I chose that name, because I try to find names where if you type it in, you're only gonna find me. So I made it easy.
Smart. Smart. And what does your name mean? Do you know the root meaning of it?
My real name or Anitoku? Yeah.
Well, either both.
Okay, so my name Adeta, that it's Nigerian for the crown came from over the sea. So I created Anitoku by taking part of my name Adeta, and I combined it with animation. So I took Annie and Toku. That's how I came up with it.
Toku! Oh my God, that's so cool. Okay, I'm ready for the merch. I will watch your anime just because I know you
Thank you.
and it's about us. Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Be sure to follow his journey to the rise of fame and support his anime.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.